Hello everyone, welcome back to Beyond the Veil Tarot and Astrology. My name is Candace Marie. Happy Friday. We are here live on December 20th, 2024, which means we're doing readings and we're going to be doing live tarot readings this evening. How's it going, everybody? I'm excited to chat with you. If this is your first time, welcome. I'm a Western astrologer. I also am a tarot reader. And we're here every other Friday swapping between live tarot or astrology readings. If you want to get a reading, scan the QR code right up here and it'll take you to my PayPal. We're doing 1-card spreads for $20 or 3-card spreads for $40. Make sure you put your info in the memo if you have any particular questions for me. And like I said, we're live. So if you're seeing this on Saturday or Sunday, we are no longer live, and please don't send any money for readings. Otherwise you'll get refunded. Do we have any level 3 people in the house tonight? If we do, say hello. Let me know if you want to cash in on your reading. Just a little bit of stuff before we kind of get into the readings tonight. We're going to do them in the order that we receive them. So I appreciate your patience. If you guys like my content, you want to see more of it, click that bell button below. Subscribe to my channel. I'm here every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday implementing tarot and astrology and trying to make sense of what's going on in the cosmos. I have got a New Year's Day, webinar coming up I'm going to be doing on January 1st, 2025. So if you don't have any plans, come hang out with me and you can ring in the new year. Bring your hangover snacks, your pajamas, some drinks, and I'm going to be giving a presentation on the astrology of 2025. Equally, we have last minute gifts if you want to order some gifts like astrology calendars or zodiac mugs, bags, or if you want to give a gift certificate to somebody for a reading. You can find all that stuff on my website. I've got you covered. You can find that at beyondtheveiltarot.com. The link is in the description below. Equally, if you want to book a reading with me, you can do that. And I'm excited to get into it. So say hello and let me know where you guys are tuning in from. We've got a couple of people who are already in the queue. I know that Marsha was wanting to get her reading. She's a level 3, but if there's anybody else, let me know. What's up, Dorothy? How's it going? And we've also got Vanessa who's waiting for a reading also. Just want to let you guys know also before I forget, I will not be here next Friday. So usually I'm here pretty much almost every Friday, but I'm going to be traveling for the holiday next week. So if you do not see me, then you're not going to see me again for a little bit. Let me see. Let me check my calendar really quick before I forget. So next Friday is the 27th, which means we will not be back until the 3rd of January. So if you guys want to get a reading, if you're a level 3, you might want to get one now. Otherwise, I won't be able to catch you until next month, okay? What's up, Rosie? Thank you. I'll put you on my list. Appreciate it. And we take PayPal as well as Super Chat. All right, so this is going to be for Marsha, aka Salty Mama Soul Tribe. She's cashing in on her level 3 membership today. She says, can I cash in on my reading tonight, please? It's Marsha. My business group seems to finally be coming together and we're making solid plans for next year. What do the cards see in the immediate future for this endeavor? Well, let's see if we can give Marsha some insight onto what's going to happen with her business group in 2025. So let's take a look. All right, so in this order, all right, we have got the 9 of Wands, the 6 of Swords. Actually, I guess that's okay there. And then we've got the Temperance card. So basically, when we see these cards kind of coming up, it does seem to kind of indicate like patience is going to be the key, okay? So especially when we see the Temperance card as the last card in the spread, it's saying it's waiting for all of the right elements to kind of come together. Obviously, this looks like it's been a lot of work. You know, the first card that I get for you is the 9 of Wands, which basically means it may have felt like this has been like a bit of an uphill battle, or a challenge, or that you have played an active role in kind of being like the ringleader and seeing all of this come together. So I don't know if this is something you personally launched, if you're responsible for kind of encouraging other people to participate, if you're the person who is like scheduling meetings and like, group connections. But the Nine of Wands is basically a card that comes up when it's like exhausting or feeling like it's never ending work, and also feeling like you might be the person who's kind of running the show. So with that being in the past position, this card indicates that you're kind of coming to an end of a phase, you're completing something. And the Nine of Wands talks about right when we get to the end, like right when we're about to give up, or right when we feel like we're completely exhausted, we kind of push through and we're able to kind of see something to completion. So the second card, which is the Right Now card, is the Six of Swords, and it does talk about being in limbo in a way, but not necessarily. It can mean that you're kind of like, okay, I'm ready to now take things to the next phase in 2025. It can mean that there's going to be meetings, people are going to be traveling, they're going to be going from one place to another to connect with other people. It can be also incentivizing people to network and do business with each other or refer to each other, and moving in a direction where you're like, okay, now that we've gotten things kind of situated and started, now we're going to start actually planning things and thinking about where we can go and how we can grow. This is a card that's about releasing stress and anxiety from a situation. So I think about like a business group coming together. Are you going to be, having like webinars? Are you going to be having like events where you're going to be traveling and connecting with others? Are you going to be focusing on encouraging and inspiring other people to not give up on their own business? And I think that could be a good thing. Swords can be about information. This can also be talking about encouraging people to take the first steps to kind of go out on their own. This does say that you are focusing on the future. So you're not so much consumed with what you've already started. You want new things moving forward, which is actually really good for 2025. All week I've been working on 2025 astrology stuff. So I can tell you that this next year is a year of closure and completion. So we're not just going to be kind of looking back at what we've done so far. We're actually closing doors and we're moving forward. So you're probably going to see a lot of people who are going to be like, I want to start my own business. I want to network. I want to get into a new field. And individuals have to feel incentivized to want to do that. So it's kind of cool that you're seeing like maybe you're going to be meeting like-minded people who are kind of feeling spent, or they're feeling lost, or that they don't have people to kind of connect or network with. And you're focusing on being able to kind of say, hey, come and get in my boat. Let me lead you in the right direction. Let me show you how to do this. And let me get you from point A to point B. So there can be some kind of like, not just encouragement and networking, but also like teaching that can kind of come through this. And you can be showing people or teaching people by example. And then the final card is the Temperance card. So this is a card that comes up for Sagittarius. So you may want to be paying attention to obviously Sagittarius season next year. Could also be the full moon in Sagittarius when we're in Gemini season. Maybe this is also indicating that like timing is important. Like you're sitting down and you're looking at the year as a whole, and you're not trying to get too much, kind of squeezed into one particular week or month or even year. Temperance is about bringing all the necessary and like perfect complementary energies to the forefront and being able to kind of mix them together. So it's not only about waiting for the right time or looking into the timing of when you're going to be launching stuff, when you're going to be having meetings, when you're going to be maybe promoting what you're doing, but also this is saying like, take your time. There's no need to rush through this. And so, like I said, just kind of wrapping on 2025, we see so many outer planets, Uranus, Saturn, Neptune, we'll see Venus and Mars. All these planets are going to go in and out of mutable signs and then into cardinal signs. So for me, this is kind of like indicating that this is the year where we start kind of planning where we see our life going in 2026. How we're making, big strides to become more independent. How we are wrapping up old cycles in our life. I think that you have picked a perfect kind of like investment of your time or focus, because I think you're going to see a lot of people who are in limbo. They are just know that they're exhausted. They need direction. They need like a shepherd, right? Literally, you see him kind of like escorting to people, you know, in the boat across the water. People can be really emotional, they can be scared, and you can go, hey, I have the expertise, but this is about timing your meetings, timing your launches, everything accordingly, and really probably looking at next year when it's going to be the peak periods that are going to be the most successful, bringing in the right people, also like mixing and mingling with people who really, I always use this like reference with like temperance card, but it's like a crock pot. It's like you're creating like a soup or something, and you're having to put in all the ingredients, and then you sit there and then you wait for it to kind of come together and blend and create this like meal. So temperance can be saying you're mixing and you're matching with other people, with different types of businesses, with different techniques and other things that you're going to be using to kind of promote what you're doing, until it gets to the end of the year, most likely, especially around Sag season. And then you're like, okay, I have figured out the formula. I know when I'm having meetings, when we're going to be doing, you know, retreats or traveling, or I know just exactly who I can connect with in what places. That's really going to help propel this forward. So time and patience is going to be your best kind of focus points in this next year. And I feel like whether this is actually going places and networking with people and maybe having opportunities to do like retreats, training, events, anything where there's going to be like some kind of, I was going to say webinar, but it's more kind of like an educational 2 or 3 day weekend, right? Like seminars, that's what I was looking for. Stuff like that, like where you can bridge the gaps in distance and connect with people in other places. That may be coming up for you next year, and it looks like it can be really good for your business. And stay with it, because it looks like you're going to be growing and you know, bringing in people who are really going to benefit from your guidance. Okay, so good luck with that, Marcia. You'll have to let me know what the feedback is for the reading. Come back and leave me a comment. And we've got Vanessa, and she's got 2 questions. And then we've got Rosie, who got in on the super chat. Thanks, Rosie. I appreciate it. It's not often that I'm not here on a Friday, you know? I'm generally always here with you guys, but, you know, sometimes things happen. So we've got Vanessa, Rosie, and it looks like Matthew got in there too. So let's go and look at Vanessa's questions. She's got 2 of them. What's up, Vanessa? Vanessa's been a client of mine for a long time. I want to make sure what does that say? I want to ask and make sure if I'm okay spiritually. It's been a long year with my sister's side of the family. I just want to make sure nobody's throwing bad juju my way. I remember you saying someone was tapping in and spying on me. Can you look into that for me? And if I should or need to do anything to protect myself. All right, so we'll do that question first. So is there anything hanging around that Vanessa needs to be aware of? And if so, can you give any insight on that? Because your sister's ex's side of the family. Well, this is a kind of a cool, this is a cool card, and I don't get a bad vibe because the bottom card is a good clarifier here. So Queen of Wands, you know, I flipped the deck over because I'm like, okay, is it a person or is this more referencing you? I think it's more referencing you. So the Queen of Wands comes up, and the Queen of Wands is somebody who is passionate, brave, not afraid to protect herself. This is the element of fire. This can be saying that you're proactively doing the things that you need to do to protect your space. Simply, it could be literally Queen of Wands is like you're lighting candles, you're doing, you know, meditations where you're envisioning that you're kind of circling, or I guess like engulfing yourself in a protective flame. You're taking the necessary steps to be able to ensure that somebody isn't tapping into your energy and into your vibes. I am aware of your astrology though. So I think a lot of what's going on is like, you know, Mars is retrograde in Cancer. So when that's happening in opposition to your 7th house, there's this sense of being like, okay, what do I need to do to either incentivize myself, defend myself, protect myself? And like, it's been hitting some hard aspects. I'm not worried about it because I feel like this is saying that you're standing in a position where you're not afraid to kind of protect your auric field or your peace or anything like that. Like you're solid, especially because this is a card that talks about vitality. Like fire talks about life and it talks about protection and purification. You can work with that stuff if you want, if you're not already doing it, although it seems like you are. So work with the element of fire to make sure that you're good and nobody is kind of like draining you. The confirmation card was the World, and that was confirming that this was not about another person, that it was actually about you. And the World is actually a card that comes up that's about cycles completing, clearing things out, going through like a graduation of sorts, where it's like, actually this stuff is going to be wrapping up. Or maybe it's about you energetically going, okay, love my sister, love my family, there for everybody, but I'm removing myself from the situation. Like I cannot get as energetically involved, or I'm creating better boundaries revolving around how I let it affect me. I'm not letting it kind of worry or consume me, and you're clearing it out. It can be an indication also that some of these situations that are outside of you are wrapping up. This is also a card that's kind of saying like the universe has your back. Like if there's nothing that is supposed to be kind of hitting you, even if it's, you know, aimed towards other people, like you're going to be protected and there isn't going to be anything that's going to kind of throw you off or negatively affect you. Okay. Now, in terms of your second question, she said, it's been ages since I dated. Do you see anything or anyone fantastic meeting me in the new year, or places to be, etc.? Well, as a Virgo in general, the next 2 years, 18 months to about 2 years, you're going to see the North Node in Pisces, which is really good for relationships for Virgos. You're also going to be seeing eclipses in Pisces, and that's going to be bringing in like destined people that you're supposed to meet. So I know that that's not your rising sign, but I just think about it as a Virgo sun, significant partnerships are going to start showing up, and you know, it is connected to your 9th house. So it can mean that you meet people while traveling. I say that because you asked where. You meet people while they're traveling. You meet people in positions where you're training, or maybe you're learning something new, because the 9th house is where you're going to see the North Node eclipses. If you have the opportunity to do some professional training, if you decide that you want to take a trip, if you're going to go anywhere, just be mindful that that will enhance the likelihood of meeting somebody, especially in the spring. Okay, you're going to see this energy from like February through April, where Venus is going to be dancing with Saturn in the 9th house. So teaching, training, traveling, learning, any of that stuff is going to enhance the likelihood of meeting someone. So let's see what the cards say in terms of, is somebody coming? Do we see anything kind of coming up? Well, you have a major arcana card. This is really interesting. The bottom card is the confirmation. So we have the star card coming up with the confirmation of the strength card. This is the axis of Aquarius and Leo, okay? So you might want to be like really looking at what's happening, you know, around this time when we're coming into the full moon in Leo and Aquarius season, when we're coming into the full moon in Aquarius and Leo season. Those seasons seem to be really significant. The star card for me can be saying that a wish is going to be fulfilled. So if you're wishing for a relationship, if you're hoping to connect with someone, if that's something that you've been healing, also relationship issues, right? Because the star card talks about healing and reconnection to something that can bring us some kind of like vitality, sense of enjoyment, peace. So yeah, this is about setting intention and like wishing for relationship connection, and also something that can feel like it's in alignment. This is a card that's also about your social status. It can be about like hanging out with groups, friends, joining associations. This can be a card that's about also, you know, meeting your best friend or becoming friends with somebody before it potentially turns romantic, which would more be kind of like Strength Leo card. I think the confirmation with the Strength card is saying that your strength this year and what you're really going to be focusing on is kind of flexing that ability to go, I know what I'm supposed to be, you know, doing in relationships. I know that what I'm, you know, who's meant to be finding me will find me. There is this sense of kind of looking at relationships in a different light and not just seeking something that's like physical or passion or just romance. You're looking for somebody who you can live your life with and fulfill some of your life goals and your dreams with. So there is this need to kind of really focus and kind of go, okay, you know, whatever is going to come my way is going to come my way. And you want to be interacting with the universe in that sense, where you're talking about it in a sense of, They're making their way to me. They're going to find me soon. I know that, that I'm going to connect with this person and it's going to be like the best thing. And also the Strength card is about learning that we don't have to try so hard. Like you might be surprised this year that relationships do come in a lot easier than they have in the past. And there isn't a lot of you needing to do work. It's just something that kind of happens naturally. And like, the stars align and then there's somebody who comes into your life. It's a big deal being a Cancer rising, and Pluto has just recently left your 7th house. Now relationships are going to be brand new. It's a big deal that Mars is also retrograde in your 1st house, because it means that you're reevaluating who you are and you're better redirecting your energy before someone else can come in. So I would say before February of 2025, this is the kind of mindset you want to be in, where you're getting yourself ready. Look for the signs that could be Aquarius or Leo. Those can be really prominent kind of signs that can kind of be coming up for you. Don't feel like this is something you have to try really hard to accomplish when it comes to relationships. And I got to tell you, like, probably the most important time outside of like the eclipses of 2025 is going to be that like March, April time, because the North Node will be in Pisces, Saturn will be in Pisces, Neptune will be in Pisces, and then Venus is going to go through all of that. So we're going to see both a major conclusion and completion of old patterns and relationships and things that are karmic, and then we're going to see something new that's going to emerge. And as a Cancer rising, you're going to be seeing Saturn and Neptune going into your 10th house, which could be a new beginning. New career, new status, but new relationship status, as Saturn is connected to your 7th. You might meet people through work. You might meet people also, not just through traveling, but people who can be culturally different, or long distance relationships. That can be something else that can kind of come up for a lot of Cancers and Cancer risings. Okay. So keep me updated. Let me know what happens. I know some of the other stuff going on in your chart is like really good for relationships in the spring. You're having some like trines and other things going on with Pluto. So, all right. So we've got Rosie and then Matthew. If you guys are just tapping in, what's up? If you want to get a reading, scan the QR code. It's $20 donation for 1 card, $40 for 3. And make sure you put your info in the memo box for me if you can, so I know how to answer your questions. Thanks, Vanessa. All right, Rosie says, hi, peace and light. Please, what can I do to attract a new job or a better role? Well, let's take a look. Let's see what the cards say in terms of any direction revolving around career growth or a better position. In this order, this is what we have. Seems like there's like a little bit of like being stuck between like a rock and a hard place with some of these cards. So the 4 of Swords is talking about in the most recent position, or I guess in the past, feeling like you don't know how to make a move, right? Like there is this sense of being like, before I do anything that's going to be too impulsive or reactionary, like let me sit on it, let me think about this for a little bit. Because the 4 of Swords is like a card of inaction. It's more about mentally thinking about stuff, like not forcing yourself to make a decision, feeling like it has not been the right time to make a move. Maybe it means that you've been kind of hanging around waiting to see if something's going to improve in a current situation, and you realize like, wow, I'm not going anywhere. I feel like I'm like stalled. This is a card that comes up when we see that people are sick and they need to rest. This is a card that comes up where it says, it's probably the end of a situation, but you're not really to acknowledge it or accept it. So in the past position, it's like saying, I know I need to change, but I'm not sure how to make that move. 8 of Cups is the card of walking away. So it can mean that there is actually most likely going to be another option that's going to come. I think the first decision, if the 8 of Cups is in the right now position, is like making that choice and going like, I know that I'm not going to stay here. Or it can mean that you're giving yourself a timeline or a time limit that's like, okay, when it gets to this point, if things have not improved, I'm leaving. Maybe you're already there. I mean, it's possible that in the right now, you're like, I don't know, I'm not seeing it going anywhere, so I'm on my way out. I do feel like even in making that decision, because after the 8 of Cups, you have the 9 of Cups. So if you're walking away from something and you're not staying, even if you don't know what the next thing is, the next job, the next phase, you do get rewarded. And a lot of like the 8 of Cups, oddly enough, I kind of see it as like a trust fall, where it's like, if you're willing to leave the relationship or the job or relocate and you just make that commitment, like something else happens, like the universe rises up to meet you. So I'm not encouraging you to quit your job and not have a plan, but I do get the impression that it's about making the conscious decision that's like, if I'm done here, I'm done here, I'm looking, I'm leaving. Otherwise, this can mean that this is coming for you in the like immediate near future. Look at like increments of 8, you know, the next 8 weeks, like within 8 months. I don't think it's going to take that long. I feel like even when you make your decision, you know, to me, it kind of looks like the 2 of coins is you still going back and forth and you being in a situation where you're like, okay, I have another opportunity, I can leave, but you know, what if I leave and, you know, what if I had stayed and I would have gotten a promotion, right? Like you can't play the what if game. Don't play that game. That's the one thing that's going to kind of trip you up. I do feel like the 2 of coins can be talking about physical repercussions. I just saw what you said, like medical and dental, you know, like obviously having benefits and you're weighing your options. If I go from this job to that job, you know, am I still going to have the physical needs covered? Is it going to be worth making the change if I'm going to be taking a different salary? Am I willing to give certain things up? Personally, I feel like this is a matter of going out there and willingly seeing what else there is. And not being afraid of making a change. Now, is there going to have to be some give and take? Yeah, probably. I think that the 2 of coins can be saying you'd be willing to maybe make some sacrifices, you know, if necessary. And I think it would be more maybe time oriented. It could be a different salary. I don't think it's going to be in different benefits, because I do think you're going to have the benefits. The 2 of coins is saying like, well, you know, this has better benefits, but it might pay less. And you're kind of weighing them against the current job that you have now. That's also an indication that within like the better part of the next 2 months, you may have more than one offer. It's not a matter of, oh, am I going to get another, you know, job offer? It's like you might have 2 and you're going, do I want this one or that one? If there's one thing I know, I don't think you're going to stay where you're at. And so I think that it would be really a good idea to get out there and start seeing what is available and who would potentially want to work with you, and like start talking to different people and see how many offers come in. And then within a couple of months, you can weigh your options and you can decide which one's going to work for you. But I think that the 4 of Swords can be seen as like sleeping on the matter, almost sleeping too long. Like, you know, whether it's you being in your job for a long period of time and you turn around and you're like, oh my God, I've been here for 4 years and like I haven't made any progress and like nothing's really happening and I feel stalled. I see that you don't want to have another year or something like that, where you're just feeling like you're just sleepwalking through work. And I think a lot of this is also recognizing that maybe you have kind of not plateaued, but you've hit like a wall where it's like there is not much room for growth or improvement, either at that job, in that company, with that position. And like, in order to kind of get to where you need to go, there does need to be like a sense of you getting experience in it with another job. You're not going to get it there, right? You may be working with people who like don't care and they don't want to progress and like they're just doing the bare minimum. And if that's what you're surrounding yourself with, you're never going to grow. So that 8 of Cups knows that it not only does it need more experiences, but it's not really feeling emotionally fulfilled and it's not feeling incentivized to stay in that current position. So you're willing to maybe, you know, be a little bit more willing to negotiate with, you know, how you're getting paid, what you're getting paid, what your benefits are, what have you. And I wouldn't be worried if you're going to get another offer. I think it's going to be more than one, and then you're going to be like, which one? Just don't play the what if I had stayed game, because if you do that forever, you're going to continue to just stall with where you're at. So I really don't think you're missing anything if you kind of go out there and see what else is available for you. Okay? I hope that's helpful for you. It's always scary taking that first kind of like leap of faith, you know, and like seeing what else is out there, especially if you've been somewhere that has been maybe comfortable, right? But like next year, everybody's getting out of their comfort zone. That is the name of the game in 2025. We're getting out of our comfort zone. All right, so we've got Matthew and David. And looks like Silk slid in there. What's up, Silk? You're very welcome. What's up, Matthew? Matthew says, hey, Candace, I didn't end up going to New York City, which turned out to be a good decision, but my cousin coworkers still had a great time. However, I'd like to ask about my work crush. It's been going well, but I guess I could use any advice about the situation. I've just been playful and keeping the flirtation and conversation natural and fun. Is there anything I should do differently? Also, can he tell I like him? Thank you very much. Thanks, Rosie. All right, well, let's take a look. I'm curious to see what's going on with the work crush. So do they know that he likes them? What needs to be done? Is there anything you should be doing differently? In this order. So we have got the Page of Pentacles, we've got the Five of Wands, and the Ace of Pentacles. I feel like your patience is going to pay off. I always love when I see the Page of Coins and then at the end of the reading I see like the Ace of Coins, you know, because the page goes and it kind of like lays the foundation, plants the seed, it's patient, it's waiting, and then at the end of the reading, you know, you kind of get the pot of gold. I feel like the Page of Pentacles is about like literally an offer, okay? So this could be saying, hey, let me help you with that. Or, oh, you're moving? Like, I can assist you. Or, you know, you need some help with this project. Let me, you know, lend you a hand. Or, hey, I was thinking about you. I got you this gift. It's something that you're offering another person. Okay, so there is going to be some kind of an exchange. There's something going on where you're going to be like, this is the offer. Do you want it? And what's interesting is in the middle position is the Five of Wands. So it kind of seems like maybe you feel like you're getting mixed signals, or maybe you're kind of confused because at times, you know, there's like a lot of connection there, and then at other times you're like, wait a second, what's going on? Like, are they as interested in me as I am? And then you can be kind of getting like wound up, you know? I feel like the Five of Wands, oh, he says he's moving. So, you know, I'm going to be moving, like put it out there, like something that's about engaging with that person and doing something that's either about an exchange or it's about assisting in some way. You can try that. That can be the line that you cast. But the Five of Wands feels kind of like chaotic, and being in the current position, it makes me wonder, like, is it a situation where they have very little free time? Is it a situation where, you know, you guys are friendly at work, but you guys kind of get busy with doing your own things? So you feel like there's some togetherness, and then you're like, wait, where did they go? I do feel like it can be saying that there's a lot of conflicting energies, or there has been challenges in being able to kind of be at the right place at the right time, making it possible for you guys to kind of have a little bit more one-on-one. If you work together, great, but like, man, Five of Wands is like, if things are really kind of crazy and busy at the end of the year and you don't have a lot of time for socializing as you usually would, it could be leaving you feeling like, am I reading into this? Is it just me? Like, what's going on? So it may be something that's going to clear up. I think probably like within the month. For all we know, it could have been like the retrograde stuff that was happening. And the Ace of Coins coming up basically means like, yeah, you're going to have an opportunity to, you know, like cash in or reap the rewards of your patience. Not only is there going to be an offer or an opportunity to kind of get to know each other a little bit more, but I feel like it's going to be something that can actually lead to something, you know, more consistent. You know, Ace of Coins can be like, maybe you guys get lunch one time and then you're used to going out once a week. You know, maybe there's like a sense of like an exchange or working on a project, and then they're going to come to you more often and be like, hey, well, this is great. We should spend time together more often. Like, it will develop into something. It can also mean that this can be a good icebreaker, you know, kind of getting into conversation with this person, being like, oh my God, things have been so crazy. Work's been busy. You know, I'm moving. I've got all this stuff going on. Like, how are you? I want to catch up with you. Like, fill me in on what's going on. And you use that as an opportunity to let them know, hey, you know, I've been crazy busy. It's not that I'm not interested. Showing them that you're interested and you're invested in the connection, right? I do think that the Ace of Pentacles says within about a month, you'll probably see this within about a month, that there can be some actual like development and growth. And also, you know, Ace of Coins can be about being a little bit more physically, because it is a solid physical element, a little bit more physically open. So it might mean that, you know, you hang out and you come to work and you're interacting and you put your hand on their shoulder, or, you know, you give them a hug and say, hey, I haven't seen you in a bit. How's it going? You're showing that connection in a physical way, right? Obviously, I'm sure HR is somewhere kind of hovering in the background, but You get what I'm saying? Like there's this sense of wanting to kind of connect physically and showing them that you're vested in the interaction, right? So give it about a month, see what happens. Let them know that things have been really crazy for you, but that you've been thinking of them and that you want to catch up. And I think some of this kind of confusion or doubt will actually, it'll clear up. Not HR. My husband and I work together. Obviously, we do all the stuff together. So we're always like laughing and saying that like our dog is like HR. So we're always like saying like if we need to file a complaint or anything like that, we have to go through the dog, who he does not do his job, to be honest with you. You're welcome, Matt. Good luck. What's up, Salty Mama? Marcia, I did your reading. I don't know if you can scroll back during the live, but yours is the first one that I did. So I did it for you, but you can listen to it and give me some feedback. Let me know. All right, so we have got David and Silk. And if there's anybody who's level 3 here who wants to get in, let me know. Give me a heads up, or you guys can join the queue and scan the QR code for a reading. You're welcome. All right, David says, hey, Candace, I'll take a 3-card reading for 2025. Please and thanks, your buddy, Dave. Well, thanks, Dave. Let's take a look. Let's see what these cards are telling you for what 2025 is looking like. All right, in this order. Ooh, I like it. King of Wands, 3 of Cups, and the Hermit card. What cool cards you get for this year. You know, I was just working on the presentation for the 2025 astrology that I'm doing. And this year is a 9 year. Okay, so it's a year numerology of completion. And it's associated with the 9th tarot card, which is the Hermit. So the Hermit card, being at the kind of end of the spread, does seem to kind of implement that you're really kind of like locked in with those energies. Reflecting, pausing, thinking about things, taking time to be more kind of introspective, getting in touch with your inner self, your inner light, right? And like knowing your truth. It's interesting that the spread starts with the King of Wands, because this can be talking about tapping into a much more confident, creative, social, dynamic, active kind of version of yourself. Maybe you feel like, you know what, this is a year that I really just want to get out there and I want to have new experiences. I want to chase after career goals. I want to be more physically active. I want to kind of get out of my comfort zone. I love the King of Wands because he's very bold. He's charismatic. He has no problem walking up to people, making friends, socializing, connecting. And it can also be a year that's really, really good for any business related anything, whether it's networking, if you're launching a business, if you want to do something more entrepreneurial, if you want to turn heads at work, get more recognition for what you're doing, get more praise. It's a really good card for that. It can also say that there can be assistance and help that can be coming from fire signs. So it can be, you know, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius's. Or you may have some of those placements in your chart. So take a look and see what signs are kind of getting activated. And then you've got the 3 of Cups. So it's like, it's funny. I think of like this situation where the King of Wands would approach, you know, a group of people, or, you know, women at a bar, or people at a party, or just going out and about and like kind of beaming and feeling comfortable and confident when it comes to connecting with other people, and like finding people who genuinely want to spend time with you and find you charming and entertaining and funny, you know, kind of like a ladies' man. Like he could walk up to the 3 of Cups and he could definitely, he could definitely like charm the pants off of all the ladies with the cups. Anyway, so the 3 of Cups is about being with other people, celebrations, you know, good things coming, and being able to kind of connect with like-minded people and have fun, right? This is a card that's like about going out there and improving your social status. This is a card that's about going out there and also finding ways to be able to celebrate the small wins and victories of your life. So set out to have some goals in 2025 at the beginning of the year. Maybe this is about joining groups and being around like-minded individuals who also simultaneously want to have fun, want to have success, want to find love. That's very possible because the 3 of Cups is talking about love and relationships and options. So it's less about being like, oh, you know, I've got all these like ladies. It's more about being like, I can go out there and kind of, you know, portray myself in a way that's more confident and like connect with others and feel like I'm more comfortable when it comes to dating. I'm more comfortable when it comes to approaching strangers. People are more receptive of me. And like, you know, King of Wands knows all he has to do is just kind of believe in himself, and people will respond very well to that. To me, it seems like you're almost going to have this experience this year, and then you're going to, you know, transition to the Hermit card, and you're going to be like, wow, I always had that in me. I always had the ability to be kind of like charming, or to be able to be successful or creative or more adventurous. And like, I didn't know that that was in me, but it resides within me, and like, I like it. And maybe the impact of some of the people that you're going to meet this year, or some of the romantic relations you're going to have this year, has you really reflecting like deeply and asking yourself like, you know, is this right for me? The life changes that I've made, the social changes that I've made, the changes also maybe that have been happening with your kind of spiritual beliefs, you're reflecting on it and you're like, this is the life that I'm supposed to be living. I really feel like this is such a perfect card for 2025, because we're going to see so many things that are going to be completing, and we're going to kind of step out of Pisces where we're kind of isolated and lonely and kind of, you know, by ourselves. And then we're seeing these planets go into Aries, which is like, you know, life is what you make it. Like literally 2025, I feel like there is so much opportunity for people who are willing to say, you know what, I'm going to get out of my comfort zone. I'm going to do things different. I'm going to go out and I'm going to do things I've never done before, even if I have to do it alone. And so I think the Hermit card's kind of cool, because it talks about when those planets go back into Pisces, and then there's a sense of reflecting and kind of going like, why did I wait so long? You know, why didn't I do this sooner? Like, and I like it here in this more social kind of fun, active lifestyle, and like acknowledging that it's okay to actually kind of step into that, and that you don't have to kind of feel alone. So it looks like a year where there's going to be a lot of kind of turning over a new leaf and connecting with people who are going to help you feel like you're a part of a community. What did you say? I've been doing it alone for so long. Well, I mean, this is not lonely. This energy is not lonely. If anything, I think, like I said, you'll make some changes, and you'll come to the end of the year and be like, why did I wait so long to do this? But you know, better late than never, right? So pay attention to what's going on, especially around the eclipses. We will have a Virgo eclipse that's going to be happening around mid-March. And then we will see other eclipses that are going to be happening in the fall in March in Pisces. But those might be kind of like the hot zones for some of that stuff that's coming up for you. Hope that helps. All right, so we've got Silk. Let me read this from Marcia. You're welcome, Dave. Just went back and watched my reading, spot on. Keep the update. Cool. That's your Saggy card. I love it. Good luck with your business ventures, Marcia. Looks good. If you guys are just tuning in, you want to get a reading, scan the QR code, and I am here to help. We're doing 1 card reading for 20 or 3 for 40. Silk says, any love messages for the month of January? Ooh, not a bad card. Those of you guys who read tarot, you're probably laughing. Well, I mean, what can I say about the Ace of Wands? Aces are new beginnings. They're opportunities in regards to new energies that are kind of coming up for you. Exciting, passionate, sexual, unexpected, feisty, fiery. I mean, you know, Ace of Wands is definitely kind of like striking a match, and it's something that can kind of light up very quickly and come very quickly. I think that the Ace of Wands, I would keep an eye out for fire signs. I looked at the bottom of the deck just to see what was coming up with this, and the Emperor popped up, so it can be specifically relating to like maybe people who are a little bit more driven, they're bold, they're more mature. They can be people that you can meet through work. But like Emperor is like daddy energy, right? So this is definitely somebody who is very go after what they want and get it. This is associated with Aries or Mars, and this can also be talking about like somebody who pursues you with a sense of like determination, right? Like the Emperor is somebody who like knows what he wants and he goes and he gets it. So you can meet them through work. The Emperor can sometimes talk about some connection that you have in a professional realm, but it can also be talking about you kind of shifting your energy when it comes to dating and relationships and being like, now I'm in the driver's seat. Like I'm not waiting for somebody to come and find me. You know, I'm going to get out there and I'm going to like meet people, and I'm going to kind of be a little bit more assertive and direct with some of my interests, or maybe feel like you're a little bit more in control of the situation, because it's a more masculine kind of dominant energy. So rather than feeling like you're playing cat and mouse with somebody, or you're waiting for somebody to choose you, or you're waiting for somebody to kind of connect with you, you're either going to see this shift where somebody's going to come in that's going to be very kind of direct in between the eyes with what they want, or you're going to be feeling this energy yourself and you're going to be like, yeah, like it's time for me to kind of, you know, make other people wondering when I'm going to call them back, or if I'm going to be choosing them. It's about that shift into the fire element, where you're more passionate, you're more daring. There can be a sense of feeling like you have higher standards or expectations from people. So sometimes with this combination, you may feel more impatient, or if you're kind of getting to know somebody and they're taking too long, you're like, next, you know, like especially when it comes to like making decisions about who you're going to spend your time with. It's almost like you're kind of navigating dating more in like a masculine kind of way, maybe the next month or so. And you're not waiting for other people to kind of like figure it out or get back to you. So, you know, maybe this is not your typical kind of behavior. Maybe you're not somebody who is as forward or is out there searching or looking. But you may find that there's something that kind of turns this particular next month, and you're feeling more incentivized to kind of get what you want. And maybe you're feeling like you're not willing to kind of make sacrifices or settle along the way. Once again, very big 2025 vibes. I feel like if I had to pick a couple cards for 2025, I think Ace of Wands and the Emperor would be that. You may want to look at where Aries is in your chart. Take a look at that, because that's where we're going to be having, you know, still another eclipse. We're also going to be having retrogrades there. So it can be that that area of your life is kind of revving up and it's getting ready for a little bit more bold, action-oriented kind of energy. And yeah, keep your eyes out if you end up seeing somebody who's like an Aries, or connecting with somebody who's like an older person who's going to be like a dog with a bone. Good luck. Enjoy it. You're welcome. What's up, Miss Fogel? What's going on? She says, hi. I see you, girl. We're going to call last call if you guys want to get in and get a reading. Get your readings. You can scan the QR code. Miss Fogel says, hi, the issues with my mom's estate are still not done. My brother and I have to go back to court on February 19th to receive the financial disbursements. The house sold and closed in November. We are bugging the lawyer for a sooner date, but she absolutely does not care. What do the cards say about the timeline for getting the money? My crystal ball says February through April, when you're having the eclipses in your 8th, which deals with inheritance, and the retrogrades that are going to be happening there as well, which is about going back and forth and getting what you need. The card that I get for you is the Hierophant, which is interesting because that generally is connected or associated with the lawyer, right? Or the professional, or the professor, the doctor, whatever, whoever you're connecting to, who's supposed to be kind of like leading the way. I do think you'll get it, because the confirmation card at the bottom of the deck was the King of Pentacles. So it does seem to imply or kind of indicate like that's when you're actually going to move forward, is probably going to be in the spring. Even if you get that answer in February, sometime February through April is likely when that's going to come in, just knowing what I know about your chart. The other thing is that all those retrogrades that are going to be taking place in your 6th house are going to be about whether or not you need to change direction with who's representing you, which is interesting because the Hierophant is going to be the lawyer, and then the King of Pentacles coming up. You know, it makes me wonder, like, did you have to go and hire somebody to kind of, you know, manage this for you? Are you going through an estate lawyer? Are you doing something that was like kind of like court allocated? Can you give me any more feedback on that? Like, did you have to hire somebody? Because if you did, you may be considering or contemplating whether or not it's worth going and getting somebody else who you could be having to most likely have to pay more for, that, you know, may help you with the case and potentially, like, you know, be a little bit more incentivized to speed it along. I know that's not what you want to hear, because I saw what you said. You're like, I don't want to be broke. I'm waiting for the money. But it looks like, you know, if you go and you were to consider working or even talking to another person, there might be somebody that you can talk to who you can actually have take the case that can move things along. It's been a mess. We had to hire her, and I don't have money for a new lawyer. So the King of Pentacles then could be about going back and forth with your brother and, you know, kind of discussing what you guys are going to, you know, be doing. If you're not going to get someone else, then the Hierophant's going to do what the Hierophant's going to do, which is basically going to be like, there is order, there is a way to doing things. And for all you know, it may not even necessarily be so much connected to the lawyer. It could be connected to the courts. A lot of times, you know, you're going to be dealing with like backlog stuff and waiting to get in whenever you can get in. But King of Pentacles is a good indication that the money is going to show up. I would think, like, also in February, as like a Virgo rising, Uranus is going to go direct in your 9th house of legal matters, which will also like quickly propel things forward. And then you'll have some of those planets that will be going into your 7th and 8th house. So that can be about receiving assistance, and then actually having the money come through. So I don't remember the exact date of the solar eclipse in Aries, but I would go and look it up. I think it's around March 29th. That's going to be the time that you're going to have an eclipse in your 8th house, and then you're going to be having a Mercury retrograde. So likely the money should be coming in right around the end of March, beginning of April of 2025. Hopefully sooner, right? But it can take that long to actually have the money, divide up the assets between you and a sibling, and then feel like you can go and start paying off debt, or you can go and, you know, do some other things that's going to give you some financial breathing room. But with the Hierophant, like I said, there is like an order to things, and likely they don't really want to kind of break out of their order or their routine. They want to kind of be in charge of things. It's possible that, you know, you talk to your brother and he's kind of saying to you, okay, you know, here's the plan. This is what we're going to do. Even if it's already spelled out, or if you guys have already agreed to things, you guys might start talking about what you're going to do with the money, how it's going to be divided, what you guys are thinking about doing with like the estate in general, if there's anything revolving around the house or anything else like that you guys are going to be splitting up to make the whole process easier and kind of expedite things. So when you do get that, the division of the assets is going to be easier, and you guys can, you know, actually start utilizing the money if that's what you need to do. Okay. I hope that's helpful. I know that's a frustrating situation. I've been talking to you about that since, man, those eclipses started. I feel like it was like almost a year ago that you've been going back and forth with that. We've got Lynette and Brianna. So let's see what Lynette says. Hey, Candace, thank you for what you do. Appreciate it. I'm Lynette, an Aquarius rising, Pisces sun, Sag moon. What do you see for love and career? What's up, Sonia? I will give you, do you want 3 cards in general, Lynette, just to see what it says, or do you want 1 card for each question? Let me know. 3 cards just in general, or 1 card for each question. And Brianna's here. What's up? It's a family affair. So let's see what we can tell Lynette. And if you guys want to get in before we close it for last call. All right, Lynette, this is for you. I'm going to give you a 3-card general reading and see if there's anything that you need to know. about love or career. I've got the Two of Wands, Seven of Coins, and the Justice card. Well, the good news is it's like, you know, you're very open when it comes to both of these topics. Two of Wands is more focused on what direction am I going in and like what's possible. Like how far can I go? Like what can I achieve? And generally this is a pretty optimistic card. So when it comes to making changes both with your career as well as your relationships, like you're ready to do that. Usually the Two of Wands in a relationship sense is like, I'm open to seeing what's out there, or I'm going to go looking for someone, or, you know, I'm keeping an open mind and I'm receptive to having someone in my life and having a partnership. The Seven of Coins coming up is talking about really reflecting on where you're spending most of your time or your resources. So like, for example, you know, Seven of Coins coming up for like a job or a career situation. It's like, well, do I feel like I'm getting out of this what I'm putting into it? You know, am I working too hard? Do I need to be getting paid more? Do I feel like I'm really investing my time wisely? Am I going to have growth here? You know, is this worth the effort? Same thing with relationships. Is it worth the effort? I would just say generally going into this next year, I would be asking myself that. Am I investing my time wisely? Am I investing my resources wisely? Am I spending time with people who are going to be worth the effort? Are we going to see kind of growth and development? I think so, actually. I think the Seven of Coins is saying that you're willing to give new relationship connections a shot. You're willing to give it a period of time to see where things can go. Or you're approaching your professional life with that sense of kind of going, okay, you know, I'm going to give it until X amount of time, and then I'm going to reassess the situation and see if it's working for me. What's beautiful is like the final card that you get is the Justice card. So that can be a card that talks about a year where the scales are readjusted. Like if you've been in a situation where you're saying to yourself, I need more from other people, I need more support, I need more love, I need more recognition, you know, the scales are going to get balanced in that way. And especially revolving around like Libra transits. So like September, October, maybe the full moon in Libra in the spring, which you're going to see during Aries season. Karma and balance is a big theme when we think of the Justice card. So if you've been, you know, giving it your all at work, you may get that recognition, the pat on the back, and you might be finding that you're getting like a change in your role, or maybe you're making more money. But equally, if you're keeping an open mind with relationships and you're really focusing on not just investing in people who are going to be worth it, but investing in yourself and being really cautious with where you're spending your time and your energy, it will manifest as relationships and partnerships that I think are going to be more reliable and more long-term in terms of the potential. Okay. Yeah. Utilize your time wisely is what I would say with these cards, and be really thinking about where are you going? What are you hoping to achieve? What is your goal? And if you feel like you're in career or, you know, relationship roles that you're not seeing that growth and development, you're going to reassess and go, okay, this isn't, you know, what's next? What else is out there? You're going to keep an open mind. Hopefully that's helpful. And look out for Libras with the karmic kind of Justice card coming up. Watch out for Libras. You might be meeting somebody who's got significant Libra placement in their chart. All right, so we've got Brianna. And she says, here we go. She says, hey girl, hey, I recently went to court for my whole custody mess, and my poor sister, who is my monitor, is getting put through the ringer by my ex's family. What do I need to know as far as what I need to do to finally nip this shit in the bud, to reunify with my kids and give my sister her life back and get away from my ex and their family? And thanks in advance. All right. And when? Sorry, I saw that too. It's okay, Catherine. It's perfect in the chat. You're going to be up next. All right, so what can we tell Brianna in terms of just this whole situation with sister being the monitor, with trying to connect with the kids, with what's going on with the ex's family? We've got King of Wands, Four of Wands, and the High Priestess card. Very interesting. Did you get a reading from another reader? like a male reader who told you that they foresaw that you were going to be reconnecting with your kids and that there was going to be something worth celebrating. Like another person could have told you this. Even if it wasn't a man, it could have been another reading. So King of Wands coming up. I mean, this does kind of talk about approaching the situation with confidence, approaching this situation head on, not backing down, not being afraid, being very assertive, not aggressive, assertive. And like a lot of this is about follow through. So it can mean that, you're going through the list of things that are required by the court, or you're going through all of the stuff that you have to do in order to, make sure that you're appearing on time, doing what you need to do, going through all of the motions, proving your due diligence that, you're trying to do everything that you can to kind of like have a healthy relationship with your family. Sometimes the King of Wands can be talking about dealing with somebody who could be very demanding, or somebody who is sometimes being like hostile or short, impatient, or mean. But the other cards that are coming up surrounding this are not negative cards. So I don't really feel like it's a situation where you're being negatively impacted by the family. I mean, I'm sure you're going through that with your ex and the family, but the cards don't seem to indicate that some of the heat is coming from him. It might be about the shift energetically within you. But the King of Wands coming up with the Four of Wands is saying that, because of the consistency, the persistence, the patience, the action that you're taking, the swiftness also in showing how, you're so quick to make moves or, reorganize your life or prioritize things, to show that you're wanting to kind of be a part of your family's life is definitely a huge theme. Four of Wands is about coming together, celebrating. This is a reconnection card. This is a card that this and the Six of Cups would be about reuniting. It can mean that you're going and you're doing stuff as a group and that you're having scheduled time that is now coming back for you. So for example, you may go to court and they may say, okay, you are going to be, granted four visits basically per month, or you're going to see them for 4 hours every Saturday or something like that. Okay, so if you didn't get a reading then this is going to be about you basically feeling more confident moving forward. It's okay. I don't care if you cheat on me. But I wondered, because the King of Wands with the High Priestess was like me going like, oh, did she talk to somebody? And even if it wasn't a reading, like it could have been you spoke to a brother, or you spoke to your father, or you spoke to your partner, or somebody who's like, you've got this, it's going to be fine. Like somebody should have been encouraging you and making you feel positive and optimistic about the outcome of this case. And I do feel like the Four of Wands does seem to indicate that there is going to be time that's going to be set, that are going to be specific time periods or specific days that you're going to have some kind of reconnection. You're going to be spending time with your family. Literally in the card, you see, all of the people coming together, they're dancing, they're celebrating. Four of Wands is saying, okay, we have this short period of time or this temporary space. It may mean that, you're having, court mandated or monitored visits. It can mean that, you get X amount of time, but somebody needs to be there, or it needs to be at a specific designated space. That can happen. Okay. Just full disclosure. But the High Priestess card coming up at the end is just kind of saying like, she knows that if she sticks to the program, if she sticks with the path, if she does exactly what is asked of her, she's not trying to change anything. She's not trying to argue with anybody. And she has this vision for the future that's like, it's going to work out as long as I just keep doing what I'm doing, then everything goes smoothly. I love this card at the end of a spread personally, because this means that you intuitively know, but maybe you've been anxious or doubting or questioning your own kind of clarity, or there's been this sense of being like, oh my God, am I just being, idealistic? Am I just hoping something's going to work out when it's not? Like, don't doubt anything. I would visualize literally and do meditations around the idea of, oh, I'm seeing my kids, and this is what it feels like when I see them. And this is how, what we do when we spend time together. And this is how we're, growing our relationships and staying in contact. And that's what it's going to be about, especially because the Four of Wands is about spending time with people who want to see you. So I don't foresee it being a situation where, there's going to be any drama trying to spend time with your kids or connect with them. I think that there is going to be a pleasant reunion, and obviously it being
very clear to anybody who's either observing or who is involved, the positive impact that that has on the kids. Seeing you and being around. I think just you seeing them again and being around them more so regularly is going to be enough to kind of shift things. And I know that this sounds like really like hopelessly and gloriously like optimistic, but like I really think it's going to be a good thing. The more that you're seeing them, you're not really going to have to speak on your behalf. You just have to show up with your actions, and your actions are going to speak louder than words. Really, you know, maybe meditate or reflect on the King of Wands. This can be maybe you're listening to motivational speakers. Maybe you're talking to people more openly and optimistically about the future. You know, maybe you're getting to a point where you're like, I don't want to complain about what's happened. I want to focus more on where we're going. I want to talk more about the solutions rather than where we've been. And this is about not feeling afraid or scared of standing up to anybody, including your ex, who's potentially intimidating you when it comes to being able to see your kids again. Okay, hold that vision, basically. Yeah, but here's the thing. The Four of Wands does mean that when it comes to the family as a whole, so it's not just you and your kids, it's you, your kids, your parents, your family, your sister, like everybody's going to have some reason to celebrate, that there is going to be more of an opportunity for you guys all to be together in general, right? And obviously, yeah, I mean, it sounds like your sister, I mean, your sister wouldn't be doing that unless, you know, she loved you. But I do think it's going to end up being good for everybody involved and a lot less stress once there is going to be something that's going to be in place for more regular kind of contact. Sending you lots of good vibes, girl. I know you've been through the ringer with that one. All right, so we're going to call last call. I've got KP and Ashley. KP, I just realized I needed to write my questions in the PayPal. It's my birthday tomorrow. Happy early birthday. Spending it solo, going deep on stuff. What should I focus on this weekend? There's a lot. Well, let's take a look. I love that you're going to go spend time alone with some of the transits going on, not just on your birthday, but you know, if you watch my videos, watch my video on Sunday that's coming out. I talk about how the North and the South Node are going to square the sun and how Capricorns need to figure out what they want to change, what they're afraid of, what needs to shift, basically. And here are the cards that you get, which sounds these are pretty appropriate. We got the Eight of Cups, the Nine of Wands, and the Star card. Yeah, it comes out 7 a.m. on Sunday, Central Time. So it's 5 a.m. Pacific and 8 a.m. Eastern. Every Sunday I've got a video that comes out. I talk about all the astrology for the week, but it's very, very specific for Capricorn this week and how you guys are kind of feeling like you need to make a change. You've got the Eight of Cups, the Nine of Wands, and the Star card. So the theme is, what am I walking away from? What am I leaving behind, right? What am I not taking with me into this next year, right? What am I ready to release? And it's not just walking away. It's like, I'm not going back there, okay? So leaving a old situation behind, relationship, work, fear, you know, emotional challenges, anything like that, you're leaving that behind. And with the Eight of Cups, it's like I said, this is obviously the card of the night. This is the trust fall card. So when this card comes up, it's saying you may not know exactly where you're going yet. You just know you're not going back to where you've been. So you don't have to have a plan yet. It's more about, okay, let's just kind of clean house and kind of figure out what we need to do away with so now we can figure out the next phase. I do feel like the Knight of Wands is about taking risks, okay? And this can be risks in a creative sense. This can be being more active. This could be being more daring, traveling more, going and doing things that you wouldn't typically do. This can be a message that there is excitement coming your way. There's opportunities for a creative breakthrough, you know, connections also that can be very passionate with people, especially connected to fire signs. So Aries and Leo and Sagittariuses can kind of come into your life right now, and a message. So usually this is about a message, and like being mobile or going and being somewhere that's away, or like you're reflecting or you're out in nature, anything like that is good because it's meant to kind of spark something within you that's like, yeah, there's this thing that I really want to do. I really want to complete this goal. And then you have time to kind of sit and meditate on that and reflect on that, and then come up with a game plan. Because, you know, the Knight of Wands does not like to stay put in one place. He likes to say, okay, just give me the orders and now just let me go. So it's about kind of getting excited about new energies that are kind of coming into your life. Then we have the Star card coming up, which basically talks about wish fulfillment this year, togetherness with groups of people, finding your tribe, healing. This can be about healing. And like, I love that the Eight of Cups is like, okay, this is where I've been hurt, or this didn't work, or this is where I was kind of disappointed. The Knight of Wands says, we're going to make lemonade, you know, rather than kind of ruminating on the past, you're about the future. And the Star card is saying that we can actually have wish fulfillment. We can heal things. There are situations that maybe you have felt victimized or, you know, abandoned, or, you know, that something didn't kind of work out in your favor. And now you're like, you know what, I'm going to get out there and I'm going to try again. Or I'm not going to blame it on, you know, a whole set of circumstances or things outside of me. I'm going to kind of take the reins here and ensure that I go and fulfill some of the things I'm hoping to do. Traveling with friends might come up this year. Traveling to go and meet people, retreats, things revolving around exploring more and going, seeing in places that maybe you've never been. I don't know the rest of your chart, but I'll just say, just generally as like a Capricorn, you know, or a Capricorn rising, Saturn and Neptune's going into your home zone next year. So a lot of Capricorns are going to be like, I'm moving to a new city. I'm moving to a new country. I'm going and traveling to a place and doing a stint there. I'm going to go and figure out, you know, where I want to kind of build my home base. And to me, it looks like there's so many exciting things coming for you that really this year is more about kind of wrapping things up and then being like, okay, especially as you get into like February, March, April, that's when you're really going to start to see this energy kind of kick into overdrive. And if anything, I feel like this is the year that you really kind of come home to yourself and you're kind of healing yourself, right? So I hope that that's helpful for you. I hope you do something to ritualize the solstice as well as your solar return. That's a cool birthday to have. Taking yourself to the mountains. I like it. Aquarius rising. So Pluto's in your first house. Lots of relationship changes. Lots of relationship changes. Lots of them, but that can be a good thing. Hopefully that's helpful for you. What's up, Lynette? I just did your reading, so just scroll back a little bit and you'll be able to see it. It was right after Miss Fogel, and I gave you 3 cards. All right, so let me see. So readings are now closed. Let me see who else I have here. There we go. So we've got Ashley and then we have Jessie. Ashley says, what lessons am I needing to learn from my current relationship? Ooh, I like that question. What lessons am I needing to learn from my current relationship? This is for you, Ashley. In this order, we've got 4 of Coins, the Sun card, and the King of Pentacles. You know, I think about the 4 of Coins, that's like, do I make a move or do I not? And I don't necessarily mean leaving, but I feel like the 4 of Coins is a lot of like, do I need to be the one to open up more? If I open up more, is it actually going to benefit the relationship? Do I need to be the one to make changes? Am I being too rigid? You know, could I be more open-minded? It can also mean that you're questioning whether or not, you know, you are needing to incentivize or push or encourage other people to grow. I don't know what's going on in your relationship. I don't know what the deal is, but 4 of Coins means that you're sitting on it kind of going like, okay, how do we make a change? You know, am I holding on to old ways of doing relationships too tightly? Am I expecting too much from this person? You know, do I need to give them the space to kind of figure themselves out and kind of take the reins and take initiative to like actively help the relationship grow? The Sun card coming up in the current position is a positive card. This does kind of say like there is opportunities for harmony in the relationship, for happiness in the relationship, for you guys to be able to overcome any challenges, and also like find yourselves on the other side where you've grown together. This is a positive card. And then the King of Pentacles coming up in the final position can be talking about somebody showing up in a much more mature way, right? Can be talking about an earth sign, so obviously Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. But if you're in a relationship with a man, I look at this and I go, there are some things that you cannot teach them, okay? And that's your lesson. So you might be somebody who's naturally a giver, a teacher, a healer, a helper. But in this situation, you can't help them. They have to learn to help themselves. They have to find their own happiness. They can't always, find it within a relationship or something outside of themselves. You don't have to be the person who pushes them along and encourages them to grow and mature and commit more seriously. They have to do that. And maybe the Four of Coins is kind of saying that part of your lesson is about kind of going, okay, if they're not getting it, then I need to kind of pull my energy in a little bit, or I need to be better with boundaries, or I need to be more cautious or more reserved and let them figure it out. Because a lot of the joy and the happiness and the healing that can happen in this relationship is when you give them the space to take the reins and be like, hey, I'm going to show up, or I'm going to work on this, or I'm going to better this. It's about them showing you in their actions. And not feeling like it's something they're doing because you're asking them or you're pressing them to do it. You'd be surprised with a little bit of like distance. I'm not saying you have to separate or anything like that, but a little bit of distance and a little bit of space, like it may give them the space and incentivize them to be more proactive in the relationship and like realize what it is you need, right? And I feel like that can actually really balance and kind of harmonize the relationship dynamic a little bit better. If you find yourself in a situation right now where you're questioning whether or not you should hold on to the relationship or let the relationship go, I don't encourage you to make a decision right now. I do feel like the Four of Coins says that there are pros and cons to the relationship. And one is that there can be a lot of love and devotion and that there can be actually a lot of happiness together. But are you guys holding on to old ways of being in the relationship? Do you guys need to evolve and figure out what the next phase is? And how can you do that? While also, not feeling like you have to kind of mother them or kind of coach them or tell them what to do. Give them the space to be able to show you. And I think you guys are going to be a lot happier. And I think you'll see a lot of growth and development within both of yourselves, but especially within them. Hopefully that's helpful for you, Ashley. Good luck with that. It looks like your lesson is to learn how to not do anything. It's like literally just sitting on your hands and being like, okay, I'm just going to wait and let them figure it out. I'm not going to try to feel like I have to coerce them into anything. So good luck. Let me know how that plays out. I've got Jessie, and Jessie says, Capricorn Sun, Aquarius rising. What do I need to focus on changing? I'm so ready for change. I just need some direction. I like that. Pluto on your ascendant. I like it. All right, so what do you need to change? What is the direction that you need in regards to this change? Such a good time for feedback with Mars retrograde in your 7th, in opposition. Capricorn and Aquarius rising, right on that cusp. Oh, okay, the Sun cusp. All right. So you're about done with the Pluto transit then. All right, so let's see. What do you need to know? Cancer, Sun, Gemini, Moon. All right, cool. Wow. All right. Well, here you go. This is what you're focusing on, these 6 of Swords. What's next? That's the question. What's next? I like that you got a Cancer Sun because that tells me that the Mars retrograde is doing its work on you. It's getting you to kind of think about who am I, what am I doing, where am I going? And then the King of Cups comes up, which is confirming that. It's saying, you're moving on from things from the past emotionally, which doesn't sound like a lot of work, but apparently it is. 6 of Swords can be about traveling, movement. It can mean going away, and not retreating, but going away so you have time to pause and reflect. It can also be a time where, you feel like you're in limbo. So if you feel like you're ready for change, but you don't know how, it makes perfect sense. I'll tell you within about 6 weeks-ish, especially as we're kind of getting into like the beginning of 2025, you're going to see February, March, when Mars in your sign is about to go direct and it's going to trine Saturn, you're going to have more clarity. But the question is, where have you been wanting to go, right? How have you been wanting to feel? What does home look like to you? Where potentially do you have some room to also kind of grow and explore spiritually? Because the King of Cups can be talking about your intuition, your emotions, and like if you're mastering your emotions and like learning to make decisions that are going to be more, I guess I would say, kind of like thinking with your head and not your heart. And that can be kind of difficult if you have like Cancer, Sun, and Gemini Moon, because the Gemini Moon can be very kind of like, you know, more kind of direct and mercurial versus the Sun, which can be more sensitive. Anyway, that's the combination that you're seeing here in the cards as well. It's like, okay, you know, am I ready to kind of move on from the past? If so, where am I going? I also think that the King of Cups can be saying that taking time to pause and reflect is really good for you right now, because it's teaching you how to like strategize and think more about where it is that you want to go. And rather than just kind of like reacting or, you know, jumping from one situation to the next, you're taking time to really dig deep and like think about and integrate what changes you want to make. I wonder, you know, with Mars going back and forth in opposition to your Sun, like what other people have said to you. You know, are relationships changing? Are you going back and forth with like a family relationship? You're going to get a lot of feedback with that aspect, basically. And I think that the King of Cups is like basically saying that, you know, you're going to be responding to some of these things, thinking about it, reevaluating, okay, am I reacting out of emotion, or am I reacting more in a sense of kind of thinking with my head and not necessarily my heart? And I would encourage you to get out of your usual kind of hangouts and haunts. The Six of Swords can be a card that comes up when it's like you really do need to go somewhere to get perspective. Doesn't mean you need to necessarily move. You might consider it with that card, but you're going somewhere else and you're getting perspective and you're thinking about things before you're kind of planning your next move. And you'll start to see more clarity right around 6 weeks from now. I'm trying to think what else. Moving on to smoother waters, having less drama, having less chaos, feeling like you can finally breathe and that there can be some peace. So I'm wondering if that has happened for you now that there's maybe been some changes that have happened either in your professional or your personal one-on-one relationships. Likely, if somebody or something is stepping away and it's giving you that freedom now to kind of think about what it is you want to do, you'll take the time to actually really start strategizing and planning where you see yourself going. But I think it's not just literally in a sense of travel. I think it's like what you're wanting to go and like learn about, or where you're wanting to potentially have more of like a spiritual kind of practice. Getting so much from everyone I should be doing. I'm feeling very stuck in the same spots, and this is spot on. Well, don't worry, the retrograde energy is like the most intense basically until the beginning of January. So yes, you'll get a lot of feedback. You'll see it one more time in April, but I think that you'll be able to finally make some moves as you're getting closer to February. Okay. Marie says, I've absolutely been the pusher, but I can see how the lesson is to sit down and let them do it. Well, I like that. Yeah, sit down and let them do it. Let them actions speak louder than words. You guys are going to see that in a very big way next year with all those planets in Aries. It's all about action. Thanks, Jesse. Good luck. Let me know what happens. Take it easy with that Mars-Pluto opposition. Can be a lot. Well, with that being said, guys, it was fun hanging out with you on Friday. I will obviously miss you guys next week, but I will be back at the beginning of January. Don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to my channel. Catch me back here on Sunday. We're going to talk all things about the astrology for the next week. And January 2025 horoscopes are out. So if you guys haven't seen them, check them out. They're long. We talk all about the transits next month. And if you guys want, join me for January 1st for an entire afternoon of astrology. We're going to talk about what's going on next year. Click the link in the description below. Head over to my website. You can pick up tickets. They're still on sale. And consider booking a reading or taking a tarot course with me if you've always wanted to learn tarot. For all that stuff, check out beyondtheveiltarot.com. Thank you guys so much. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a happy holiday and a happy new year. I'll see all of you on the other side. Take care.